Something strange is happening in the Yellowstone universe, and it starts with Taylor Sheridan quietly stepping away from a major new spin-off. Why Marshals was supposed to be the next big thing, but now it's surrounded by silence, missing details, and behind-the-scenes tension that no one's talking about, until now. Is Sheridan burning out? Is Paramount taking control? Or is this the beginning of the end for the magic that built Yellowstone, 1883 and 1923? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on why Marshals, the creative power shift, and what it really means for the future of the entire Sheridan empire. Trust me, this goes deeper than you think. What we know about why Marshals so far and what's missing. Why Marshals is one of Taylor Sheridan's Yellowstone universe's most mysterious and potentially game-changing entries. Announced as a spin-off expanding the law enforcement angle hinted at in the main series, the show reportedly follows a group of elite U.S. Marshals navigating justice in the modern American West. It's said to focus less on ranching and more on manhunts, fugitives, and federal conflict. A few casting rumors have floated around, but no official leads or character breakdowns have been confirmed by Paramount+, which adds to the growing curiosity. Why Marshals marks a noticeable shift from 1883, 1923, and lawman Bass Reeves, where Sheridan was intimately involved in nearly every creative decision. Reports suggest that Sheridan is taking a back seat for the first time in this universe, meaning he may not be the showrunner or even the lead writer. This alone is massive. The tone and success of the franchise have been defined by Sheridan's fingerprint. The idea of a spin-off launching without his full creative force raises a simple yet haunting question. Can the Yellowstone world exist without its creator in the driver's seat? And this is where things get weird. There's no teaser trailer, no official artwork, no leaked set photos, no cast lineup, despite the show allegedly being in active development. For a franchise that usually builds hype months in advance, remember how 1923 had teaser posters before cameras even rolled? The silence around Why Marshals is deafening. Is Paramount Plus attempting to gauge early fan reactions prior to going all in because of production delays or internal disagreements? Either way, the lack of updates is creating more questions than answers. The Yellowstone fandom is sharp, vocal, and obsessed with details, and they're starting to notice the gaps. Some speculate that Sheridan is stretched too thin between lawman Bass Reeves, 4 Sixes, and possible film work. Others think this is a trial balloon for future spin-offs led by other creatives. Either way, Why Marshals is becoming a test case. Is it possible for a Yellowstone show to succeed without the Sheridan plan? And most importantly, will this spin-off harm the empire he spent years building if it fails? Who is in charge right now? The fact that no one is in the spotlight, not just the concept, of Why Marshals is one of the biggest surprises. For the first time in his Yellowstone empire, Taylor Sheridan is reportedly handing over the reins. However, the more important query is, to whom? So far, no official showrunner has been named, and Paramount has been strangely tight-lipped about who's steering this new chapter. That kind of silence usually means that a big announcement is coming, or that something is changing behind the scenes that no one wants the public to see right now. One of Sheridan's longtime collaborators, possibly from Mayor of Kingstown or Special Ops, Lioness, is being rumoured to be taking over. If so, it could mean Why Marshals takes on a darker, grittier, more procedural vibe, diverging from the poetic ranch and drama Yellowstone fans are used to. That could be beneficial or a complete tone mismatch. The Yellowstone universe has always thrived on character-driven storytelling with complex moral shades. Can someone else maintain that balance? Sheridan is known for being a control freak, in the best way. Writing entire seasons himself, directing key episodes, and setting the tone for everything from wardrobe to cinematography. Fans are therefore pondering the question of how much of Sheridan's DNA can be found in Why Marshals if another individual is in charge. Is this a true spin-off or just Yellowstone-branded content with his name slapped on as executive producer? That distinction matters, especially for loyal fans who tune in for that raw, emotional storytelling only Sheridan seems to deliver. A bigger, strategic possibility. There's also a bigger, more strategic possibility in play. What if Why Marshals is a deliberate experiment by Paramount, a chance to see if the Yellowstone brand can survive without its creator at the helm? This show's success could lead to additional spin-offs from other showrunners, making the franchise a true cinematic universe, like Star Wars or Marvel. But if it fails, the message will be clear. There is no Yellowstone without Taylor Sheridan. The changing role of Sheridan in all of his shows. Taylor Sheridan built his empire with a pen and a very clear vision. In the early days of Yellowstone, 1883 and even Wind River, he wrote nearly every word, shaped every character, and was often the driving force behind direction and tone. His storytelling had a distinct voice, lean, sharp, and morally complex. But as his projects expanded, so did his responsibilities. Instead of writing every script himself, Sheridan has gradually begun to delegate, overseeing multiple productions across TV and film while stepping back from the ground-level details. With shows like Mayor of Kingstown, Special Ops, Lioness, Lawman, Bass Reeves, and now Why Marshals, Sheridan's influence is more about the brand than the execution. He is putting trusted collaborators in charge, establishing frameworks and guiding themes. This approach allows him to launch more projects under his name while reserving his full creative focus for select passion pieces. The move mirrors what major showrunners like Shonda Rhimes or Ryan Murphy have done, evolving from creators to curators of a larger narrative universe. While delegation brings growth, it also introduces risk. When Sheridan is deeply involved, the results tend to be sharp, layered, and emotionally resonant. As he shifts into more of an executive producer role, that personal storytelling touch can fade. Some fans have already noticed that the newer series have different tones and pacings, but not all of them have the same effect. Even for someone as prolific as Sheridan, maintaining quality across such a vast empire without direct involvement becomes increasingly challenging. Rather than burning out on a dozen shows at once, Sheridan seems to be choosing where to dig in and where to step back. He is still very involved in Landman and is said to be interested in new movie roles. His evolving role reflects a strategic pivot, less about being everywhere at once, and more about sustaining his legacy through selective, high-impact involvement. This change, if executed correctly, may extend the life of his stories beyond what his presence on set ever could. Hollywood burnout or business move? Taylor Sheridan has skyrocketed to fame in a flash. In just a few years, he went from being a respected screenwriter to one of the most powerful creators in Hollywood, with an empire of shows airing across multiple networks. But maintaining that kind of output comes at a cost. Writing entire seasons solo, overseeing production, directing, and running multiple shows simultaneously is a pace that's nearly impossible to sustain. The sheer volume of his creative workload has sparked growing concerns, both in the industry and among fans, that burnout may be inevitable. Lately, Sheridan's shift in focus appears intentional. He's still involved in shaping the Yellowstone universe, but his fingerprints aren't as prominent on newer projects like Why Marshals. Instead of writing every word or directing every scene, he's stepping back and allowing others to lead, while he oversees from a higher level. This doesn't signal disengagement, it signals evolution. By taking a broader executive role, Sheridan can ensure his storytelling vision continues, without having to exhaust himself in the process. In the entertainment industry, knowing when to back off can be just as powerful as knowing when to go all in. Sheridan is now in a position where talent, funding, and huge audiences are all attracted by his name alone, To safeguard his brand, he no longer needs to micromanage every aspect. Delegating is a business move, not a weakness. Instead of acting as a showrunner, he is acting more like the head of a studio, choosing which projects need his full attention and licensing his voice to people he believes in. Rather than flame out from overcommitment, Sheridan appears to be laying the foundation for longevity. Whether Why Marshals succeeds or stumbles, it serves as part of a bigger plan, a test of how his universe operates when he isn't in full control. If this pivot works, Sheridan can stay at the helm of his creative empire for decades, carefully curating what he touches while empowering others to carry the torch. Sheridan may be playing the smartest hand in an industry known for devouring visionaries. How does this affect 1883, 1923, Landman, and other spin-offs in the future? It's possible that Sheridan's decision to distance himself from Why Marshall is a sign that the Yellowstone universe as a whole is entering a new phase, one that might not be based on his constant presence. Sheridan's diminished involvement in 1883, 1923, and Landman, all of which are currently in development, could have an impact on their tone, depth, and even longevity. These spin-offs were born from his singular voice, and any shift in that voice changes the DNA of the whole ecosystem. 1923, the Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren-led prequel, made a massive impact out of the gate. But with Sheridan stretched thin and Ford reportedly juggling film projects, momentum for Season 2 has noticeably slowed. 1923 runs the risk of becoming more of a placeholder than a powerful follow-up if Sheridan isn't writing every word or directing every episode, as he did with 1883. The generational saga's invested fans might have to wait, or worse, be let down by a weaker conclusion. The following chapter relies heavily on Landman. Sheridan appears to be taking on more of a supervisory role from the beginning of this major series. Set in the oil boom world of West Texas, it's different in style and subject from his ranching dramas. If it hits, it proves the Sheridan brand can survive across genres. If it flops, it sends a clear message that the audience craves his full presence, not just his name on a production banner. Landman is more than just a show. It is a test to see how strong his brand can be. The more Sheridan scales back, the more likely it is that future spin-offs, whether it's 4/6s, more Lawman installments, or even new Dutton bloodlines, will be led by other voices entirely. This could lead to franchise fatigue or exciting new innovation. In any case, the first domino is Why Marshall. Its success or failure will shape how much of Sheridan's future storytelling will be crafted by his hand, or by a team of new creatives operating under his vision. The Yellowstone universe is evolving, and the fans will ultimately decide if that evolution works. So here's the big question. Is Why Marshall the future of the Yellowstone universe, or the first crack in its foundation? If Sheridan's stepping back now, how long before other spin-offs lose their edge too? Landman, 1923, 4/6s. They're all on the line. Drop a comment if you're feeling the shift. Additionally, don't forget to subscribe, as the drama behind these shows is only beginning. We've got exclusives, breakdowns, and leaks you won't hear anywhere else. This is more than just television. It is the demise of a dynasty. And you're watching it unfold in real